Mitch and Jo. This is our third show, and I tell you what, I really like this one. I love a lot of the new things that I'm doing now that I'm not on the daily morning show. I like some of these other things. My morning show, I'm working on it, but as far as this show goes and my 7 picks in just 5 minutes, kind of these are my new favorite things.
Yeah, I love doing this show in the afternoon with you, Mitch.
We have a lot going on in sports still. There's still a lot of movement going on in the NFL as far as really a lot of coaches fired, but not a lot hired, right? So we still have that open. And then yesterday, really the big sham of all sports, the Baseball Hall of Fame election. I don't understand this thing. This is just the dumbest thing in the history of sports is the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's like the writers vote on who gets in, but it's not necessarily based upon statistics.
So what is it based on, Mitch? I've always wondered this. What are they basing on? Popularity?
Well, there's certain metrics that they look at. It used to be if you had 500 career home runs, you were automatically in. That's the way it used to be. But now the standard of the game has changed. So 500 home runs, not nearly as meaningful as it used to be. So they've changed that metric, and they've made it now that it's definitely to be considered, but it's not the main factor. And now they look at versus people of your era, the stats and things like that nature, and it's still kind of like, but what supersedes any of that is your clubhouse presence, your relationship with the media, and what rules you broke.
Okay. What rules you broke? That's interesting because I know there's some controversy about saying players cheated and steroid use and that kind of thing. What are your thoughts on that, Mitch?
I think that singling players out based on steroid usage is the same thing as saying, which is kind of against everything that baseball and football and all these other sports do when it comes to, not notating the record book for rule changes or, longer seasons or things like that. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, yeah, these guys did steroids playing against guys on steroids.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's not like Barry Bonds was playing against minor league pitching. He was playing against pitchers on, Roger Clemens was a pitcher on steroids. Right? I mean, he's playing against him, so it's like, it's not like Roger Clemens is pitching against batters that aren't on steroids. Sammy Sosa, all these people, right? Mark McGwire, all these people that are considered, outside the game. But, to not involve Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, in the Hall of Fame, to not involve Alex Rodriguez, Roger Clemens, and Barry Bonds and Pete Rose, and Shoeless Joe Jackson in the Hall of Fame is just, why do you have a Hall of Fame at all? You're going to put Scott Rowland and Todd Helton in the Hall of Fame, but you're not going to have Alex Rodriguez. I mean,
it makes no sense. They have to, right? They absolutely have to have them in the Hall of Fame.
But if you don't have Pete Rose, right? So they don't allow Pete Rose because he bet on baseball. But now they have sports books in the actual stadiums.
Which is, it doesn't make any sense, does it, Mitch?
It doesn't make any sense at all. And now a guy like Curt Schilling, right, who has Hall of Fame numbers. I mean, he won on 2 different teams and 3 different teams. I believe he won World Series. He had the famous bloody sock game at Fenway Park, and he finally said he was one of those guys that refused to talk to the media, so he knew he wasn't going to get in, and finally he just said, "I don't even want to be on your stupid ballot."
I didn't even want to be on the ballot. I don't blame him. right? It shouldn't be about having to appease the media, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, it just it doesn't even make sense, that he wouldn't be in, and he just said, I don't want to be in, and he said, I don't even want to be on your stupid ballot, because he knew he wasn't going to get in. And he dropped from 70% of the votes down to 58.6%. I mean,
Wow.
what did he do differently in 1 year from the next? And it's not like there was somebody else to vote for or anything like that, because only one guy got in.
Yeah.
It just doesn't even make sense. It's just stupid.
I agree with you there, Mitch.
I don't get it. So he was Kurt Schilling won the Cy Young once as a member of the Phillies, and then he was second in the Cy Young voting twice. He was a 6-time All-Star. He won at least 2 World Series, if not 3. I don't know. I don't understand it. It's like, at what point does what you do on the field not count anymore?
Yeah, it definitely should all come down to what happens on that field. It shouldn't come down to anything else.
Yeah,
It really shouldn't.
So he won the World Series 3 times, 2001, 2004, 2007. He was the World Series MVP in 2001, National League Championship Series MVP 1993. He won the Roberto Clemente Man of the Year Award in 2001. He was 2-time Major League Baseball wins leader, 2-time National League strikeout leader, Philadelphia Phillies Hall of Fame, Boston Red Sox Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
but not good enough for the Hall of Fame.
Well, I've heard this in different leagues as well, ex-players complaining about people not making the Hall of Fame for different reasons that are outside of the control, when they definitely were a better player than someone else that has made it, or something like that, stat-wise, what they did on the field there, and them just being excluded, which is sad to see.
So Alex Rodriguez has 696 career home runs. Okay.
Wow.
696. So Babe Ruth, by reference, had 714. Okay.
Wow.
He had 696 home runs. On top of that, he was a career 295 hitter. So he was on base an absolute ton. He had, this is like off the chart Hall of Fame numbers. I don't believe he was on steroids his entire career. 10-time Silver Slugger Award winner, 4-time Hank Aaron Award winner, 1996 batting champion, 5-time American League home run hitter champion, 2-time Major League Baseball RBI leader, World Series champion, and 14-time All-Star.
Wow.
But he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense, Mitch. It's not right.
It doesn't make any sense. He was involved in the scandal at the end. It was at the end of his career. But I think if you take out, and I'd say the same thing about Roger Clemens, and I'll say the same thing about Barry Bonds, take out 5 years of their career, where it appears that they were using steroids. They still have Hall of Fame careers.
Absolutely.
It's a sham.
Absolutely they do.
It's a sham.
Yeah.
It's a sham. It's like the writers, who the hell are you? It's like, I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I do too. I completely agree with you. It's
I hate it.
It's a shame. It's a shame, and hopefully it gets rectified for sure.
It's everything that's wrong with baseball. It's why baseball sucks. As we head into baseball season.
Well, we look at all of these things and all these changes they're trying to do and everything that now they're considering, the sticky substance once was kind of just turned a blind eye and now they're cracking down on that and all the different things they're trying to do. I don't know, Mitch. It just are they going to come back on some of these pitchers and say, well, you were part of the era that used the sticky substance when we know it was always going on, right? And deny them Hall of Fame and things like that. Like it's sad.
So April saying that yesterday I said I liked Texas TCU, and then by the 4:00 show I said I didn't like it. So what I didn't like about it is that I saw too many people agreeing with me. If you're on a public underdog, it's normally a good place to die. You might as well just write a check. It's like normally it's like when the public is all over the underdog, it's normally a bad sign. So that's what it was. That's why I said I didn't like it as much, because I saw other people on it that took me out of my comfort zone. That's really the only reason. So the Veterans Committee can put these guys in, and they might, but it's like these as far as Bonds and Clemens go, they will not be alive when that happens.
It's not right.
No, and Pete Rose won't be either if he gets in. It's ridiculous. It's like, at a certain point, it's like, who cares? It makes it meaningless. I hate Baseball Hall of Fame. I died on it too. On those Horned Frogs.
Well, now I know your opinion on that. I never knew your opinion on the Baseball Hall of Fame before.
Oh, just a sham. And so baseball in general, we can dedicate the whole show to baseball, really. The baseball used to be the sport in the United States. It was the number one sport. It was, if you go back and, you see all these old movies and stuff like that, or you see like, any of the movies that are based on the past, they're all baseball movies, right? Maybe Newt Rockney All-American, that's like in the 50s or 40s, right? That's what it's based. But most of those are baseball movies, The Natural and, all of these other movies. But
Field of Dreams.
Yeah, Field of Dreams, But why is baseball, why did it fall from grace? It's because the players are greedy pigs. I mean, that's really what it all boils down to. The owners were scummy by trying to hold back all the money, and now it got slanted the other direction. And who always gets left holding the bag is the fans. You can't have a game where you have 81 home games per season and charge $400 a ticket. It doesn't work. Not everybody has, whatever that is. It's so 8 games at $400 apiece is $3,200. So it's $320,000. It'd be $32,000 a year to go to see it, to get season tickets, not including the postseason.
Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair to the fans to be able to try, especially a family. You look at a family, it's taken away that ability for a family of 4 or 6 to be able to go to the ball game every week. Like they can't do that. And I think that's why we have a dying fan base there, and in a lot of sports as well.
I lived in Chicago. We had 2 teams. We had the White Sox and we had the Cubs, and it was just polar opposites, from top to bottom. At Wrigley Field, tickets $85 a piece and up. At U.S. Cellular Park, they had half-price ticket night at least one Monday a month.
Okay. So do they still sorry, Mitch, my internet must be lagging a little bit here. At any of the big ballparks, do they have any kind of berm seating where, families can go in and pay a lower cost and just sit in some sort of berms on the grass at all, or is it all just the seating?
It's all the seating, and it's everything is more expensive and than it ever was. Is the way that it is. A beer is more expensive, a hot dog is more expensive, a program is more expensive, everything is more expensive, a hat is more expensive. And I agree with Christopher. Drugs have been part of sports long before Barry Bonds. Long before Barry Bonds.
Absolutely, they have. right? There's just some players that didn't get caught for them. That's all.
So William wants to know Sam Howell for Detroit. I don't know if he's an answer. You know, it's like if you're going to invest in a quarterback, you don't want to take a, because if you're Detroit, right, you need a can't miss. If you're Detroit, you know, you can't afford to have a guy that you're going to miss because you're going to suffer. You know, regardless of if he's good or bad, you're going to suffer that first season. Ask the fans in Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence this year.
Yeah, ouch. Yeah, I don't know what Detroit is going to do. They definitely need to get something done there. But I agree with you. I don't think Sam Howell's the answer.
I don't think so either.
No.
North Carolina quarterbacks generally have not rated out well in the NFL either.
Absolutely. Switching to NFL news, Mitch, I wanted to get your take on Antonio Brown. There's rumors that he's going to press charges against the Bucs for getting him off the team in the fashion they did, claiming that with them saying it was a mental health issue, they've deflamed his character, that kind of thing, which, you know, I think he's done on his own. What are your thoughts on him?
I think it's time for him to go away.
Absolutely.
I think him and Josh Gordon both should not be in the league. It's like they're complaining about, like, you know, these baseball players and not letting them in the Hall of Fame. How are these guys even in the league? You know, Antonio Brown, it's like, you know, how many chances does he get? I thought with everything that happened with the Raiders that there was no way he should have ever been allowed back in the league at that point. He's been back twice.
Yeah.
You know? And then with, you know, Josh Gordon, he's been back like 8 times. So it's just enough is enough at this point.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I really do think these athletes have some sort of a level they have to come up to be role models in our society. And that's what we need to see. You know, you look at an athlete that is getting DUIs, rightly so, they shouldn't make the Hall of Fame, but an athlete that used drug performance drugs where, you know, we know everyone and their dog was using them at some point. So
I'm more willing to let a guy with a DUI in than a guy like Antonio Brown, you know, back in the league, who's just a cancer to the league. And so is, you know, Josh Gordon, who's just, I mean, how many times has he been suspended? It's like guys like Roger Clemens, guys like, so Sammy Sosa, who's not in the Hall of Fame either, he's not in the discussion or anything, was never suspended for steroids. Never.
Interesting.
But you look at guys like Antonio Brown, Josh Gordon. I mean, there's more than that too, you know, in the league. The guy in the Cowboys, right? The defensive lineman. What's his name?
Yeah.
Gregory, right? Same stuff, you know. Yeah. It's Kareem Hunt, you know. What Kareem Hunt did is worse than any of this stuff. It's kind of like, you know, a few years ago it was Ray Rice.
Yeah.
But, you know, all of a sudden, now that he's not the first guy, now all of a sudden it becomes more acceptable for some reason.
Yeah, which it shouldn't. That's for sure. Definitely shouldn't come more acceptable.
Yep, the Little League World Series is tainted, you know. They put in guys that are way older than their age.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
How do they do that? Falsifying birth certificates, or what's happening there, Mitch?
That's exactly how they do it.
Wow.
Where's Goran? Goran comes on at 4:30. So he's probably out smoking a joint before the show. Smoking a fat one.
Okay.
It's like, where's Goran? He's out smoking a joint, drinking a beer before the show. Getting his shit together.
You imagine? Not sure Gordon could say much if that happened.
That'd be funny.
Would be quite hilarious. I'm going to agree with you there.
I think that would be the last thing people would expect.
Absolutely. Last thing I would expect from him. So I'm pretty sure if that happened, we'd just see him sit on the soccer show eating. So.
Yeah, 7 free picks in 5 minutes has been money except for yesterday. It was terrible.
Yeah, you've been killing it over there. Definitely love that show.
Anyways, anything else you guys got going on? It is midweek. It is Wednesday. Got a lot of stuff going on at PickDawgz. I am on phone call after phone call after meeting after meeting. I've been on the phone since I last saw you guys on the premium picks. I've been on the phone the whole time. Not fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not,
You've had a busy day.
Not fun. I am not a people person in that respect.
Well, I'm glad that you had time to do this show this afternoon, Mitch. Before I let you go, any thoughts if Tom Brady will be in the league next season? We know that he's made some kind of general statements about his wife doesn't like to see him take those hits and that kind of thing. Think we might finally see Tom Brady step away?
I think so. I think it's time. He's got nothing left to prove and nothing left to really play for. He doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the championships. Yeah. He doesn't need that. He could have walked out on top last year, if that was important to him. Yeah.
Do you think if he goes, Gronkowski goes with him? Yes. I couldn't see Gronkowski playing with anyone else either.
I think he's going to go anyway, Gronkowski. Yeah. I think he's done. He just seems done. I think
so as well.
He's definitely running a lot slower than he ever has. And, he had a good run.
Absolutely. It is sad to see these quarterbacks and players that have been around for so long leaving the league, but I definitely think it's time for both of them.
Yeah, I think they've run their course and they've had great careers and there's no reason, like I said, there's nothing there to keep them, and I don't think that the Bucs prospects for next season are going to be any better than this season. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either. They definitely have some issues there that need to be fixed for sure.
I saw we went over 72,000 subscribers. That's pretty cool. We're only,
congratulations.
We're only 9,928,000 away from our goal.
There we go.
Of 10 million subscribers. So
we'll get there. If you guys are watching and haven't subscribed, help us out with that goal. Hit that subscribe button.
And if you have 9,900,028 friends, just let them know to come on by and subscribe to our channel.
I've told my 3 friends and they've subscribed, Mitch. So starting
part of the total.
They are part of the total, including my mother, who subscribed last week.
Well, those are the good ones. But
absolutely.
Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow, and of course, we've got the soccer show up next. I'm on the drive-through tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Tony T and Chris Ruffalo. Have an awesome day. Aloha. Ohiyo.